It's going to be called The Signs of the Times. Let's go over a few things here. The Signs of the Times. Let's start out. Give me, who's reading for me?
I am, officer.
Okay.
Sorry.
Second Ezra's 15. Yeah, he did try to get a deep voice. Second Ezra's chapter 15. Let's start at verse 1. It's in your apocrypha for you new brothers and sisters. If you don't have one, just look next to somebody near you. Second Ezra's 15, 1 through 4. Let's go.
Book of Second Ezra's, chapter 15, verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put into thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Incredulity means disbelief, unbelieving. Go ahead.
For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
So, every so often, we got to go over some prophecy, just to let us know where we are in time, you know. So every so often we will pull out some of these scriptures, and you brothers that can pick up some things, learn some new things from it. Make sure you go home, study what you hear, and add to your understanding. Right, so let's go with some prophecy. Matthew 16, because there's a lot going on in the world, especially this week, the last 2 weeks, but especially this week. So let's, Matthew 16, let's read 1 through 3, because we might not all be paying attention to it. Let's read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting desired him that he would shew them a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red.
So, you know, this is definitely us. We don't even watch the news channel. We just look outside and look at the sky, and we know what the weather's going to be like. That's how we tell the weather. Go ahead.
And in the morning, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times?
So Christ is getting on the leaders at this time. Sadducees, Pharisees, which would be your modern day pastors and priests today. He said, you can't discern the signs of the times of everything going on around you. Can a brother give me an example? Why would pastors and our people in today's society, why would they not be able to discern the signs of the times? Does any brother give it a guess? Why do they think? Why do you think? Brother Abel, why can't our people discern the signs of the times?
One, they're not keeping no commandments, so they have no wisdom or knowledge to understand the scriptures or the prophecies in the Bible.
Okay, I like it. Anybody else? Any other brother? Want to give it a shot? Or everybody was going to say his exact words? Okay, Natazar, what do you got?
Hey, shalom, leadership.
Hey, shalom.
They are assimilated into Babylon society.
Okay. All right, that's one. Up front here, we're going to go Brother Otis, and then we're going to give it to Aryeh. See what he got.
Shalom, leadership.
Hey, shalom.
They're concerned about money.
Okay, I like that. That's a good one. Aryeh, what you got? Microphone.
Shalom. They don't read the scriptures to know the signs.
All right. Y'all all right in a sense. It's summed up in this. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. It's summed up in this. Let's read 1 through 5.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 1. Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. For he will be found of them that tempt him not, and sheweth himself unto such as do not distrust him. For forward thoughts separate from God, and his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise.
Read on.
For into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter.
It's going to describe what the malicious soul is. Read on.
Nor dwell in the body that is subject to sin.
That malicious soul is a body that is full of sin. Go ahead.
For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in.
So one of the reasons that our people can't discern the signs of the time is because they don't have any discipline. We live in a society where we are taught to whatever makes you feel good, do it. YOLO, you only live once. Enjoy life while you can. You're only young for a certain amount of time. And with all that sinful freedom that we have as a people, we are found ourselves in all manner of sin. Therefore, we cannot discern the signs of the times because we wrapped up in everything else. Everything. That's why when you first found out the truth, it was like your eyes was opened all over. You seen the world for what it really was because you was no longer wrapped up in the sins of this world. So, let's see. Brothers, show of hands. What are some sins that our people are wrapped up in? Name some. Let's see. Let's see who got that thinking cap on. All right, Emmanuel, Northern Kingdom, Simeon, stand up. Let's see. What's some sins?
Adultery.
Okay.
Murder.
Murder. Okay. Oh, hold on. Okay, that's good. Give it to somebody else. Stand up. Whoever want to talk, stand up. There you go.
Fornication.
Fornication. All right, get the mic. Whoever's up, give it to him.
Hatred.
Hatred. Okay. All right.
Worshiping other gods.
Worshiping other gods. All right. It's coming to
Covetousness. Covetousness.
Covetousness. Okay.
I would say idolatry in the sense of putting other things before the Most High.
Okay. All right.
Evil communications.
Wrapped up in evil communication. Rap. Okay. Go ahead. R&B. Filthy R&B. Nariah, the last one. Oh, James. Okay. Go ahead. I didn't see you.
Bearing false witness against each other.
Bearing false witness, lying on each other, wrapped up in no sins. Go ahead.
Vanity.
Vanity. Oh, brother's deep. That's the fro. All right. All of them are some sins that we are wrapped up in. Nobody happened to mention voting. Are y'all in the same place that I am? You ride all up and down the street and see these signs everywhere. Nobody mentioned that. So let's Deuteronomy 17:15. Because what is that? Tuesday, right? Vote or die. So we're going to get some scripts on that. Here's one of the sins we caught up in. Deuteronomy 17:15. Let's read it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother.
All right, so whom God chooses, and don't even think about it if he's not of your brother. Okay, so all right, somebody might get you. All right, well, Obama, I should have voted because Obama, he's our people. Still up in the air about him. We'll see. Only the Lord knows. Well then, I can vote because of what's the dude's name? The Tallahassee mayor, right? Gillum. Running for Florida governor. I should vote. He's of my people. So I'm going to vote for him. Let's see. All right. Go Jeremiah 17:4. Because that might be the thought in some people's mind that may have voted before in their life. Some people didn't vote. I know I didn't. I only voted one time in my life. Y'all know who it was for. I ain't even going to say. Y'all know. Right after that, the Lord called me in. He said, all right, bring your dumb butt on. All right, Jeremiah 17:4. Let's read that.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4.
You might think, okay, I'm going to vote for all these black people that are getting into politics now. Roland Martin is pushing that thing hard. Go ahead.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
So was voting ever a part of our heritage as Israel, brothers? No, we just read the law on it. The first thing was that the Lord was choosing the people to set up and put over you. It was never no vote and cast your ballot in Jerusalem. Should it be David or should it be Saul? Should it be Jehoiakim, Jehoiachin? That wasn't going on. Vote has never been a part of our heritage as a people. That's something that we learned here in Babylon the Great. Read on.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
All right, precept. What is our heritage that the Lord gave us? Matthias, what is it? Give me the precept for what is our heritage.
Sirach 17:11.
Sirach 17:11. Let's read it.
The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 11. And beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
He gave us a what?
The law of life for inheritance.
He gave us a law of life for a heritage. That is our heritage that we have discontinued from not voting. Go to Deuteronomy 4 and 44. That just popped in my mind. Deuteronomy 4 and 44. A law of life for inheritance. A law of life for a way to live. That's what your heritage is. A way to live. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 44.
Huh?
And this is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel. These are the testimonies and the statutes and the judgments which Moses spake unto the children of Israel after they came forth out of Egypt.
So that is our heritage, the law which God gave to Moses to live our life by as a heritage, right? Go back to Jeremiah 17.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, in verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
From the laws. And that's what we're doing now. We're coming back to our laws, our way of life. And we finding out the sin of voting is not one of our ways. Go ahead.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not.
We are in a land that is not ours. Why would we vote if we're in a land that's not ours? That's the most backwardest thing ever. You know that's backwards? No other nation comes here and votes. Ishmael, the Arabs, they ain't worried about voting in America. Chinese people, they ain't worried about. They give a damn. East Indians, they don't care. Now, if they are fully Americanized, then they go ahead and start voting because they believe in the whole Babylon philosophy and system. But if they are sticking to their roots and they only here to get money off you black people in the hood, they ain't worried about voting at all. Because they know this is not their land. But for some reason, blacks and Hispanics, we want to vote in a land that is not ours. Go to Isaiah 1. Isaiah chapter 1. I hope you're writing these precepts down because these are precepts you can give to somebody when they run up on you and say, are you registered to vote? Vote or die. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3.
Verse 7.
Verse 7. Your country is desolate.
Remember, we're in the land that's not ours now. Read on.
Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers.
So for our sins that we have committed, that we are wrapped up in, we are forced to watch our land be overran by strangers. While we here on the other side of the earth, you got strangers in your homeland taking craps in the middle of the day on the streets. Because of our sin, it's overran by them. All right, hey, give me the video of Oprah real quick. I got it time-stamped and everything on there. Give me the video of Oprah. This is what happens when you're Americanized right here. This is what happens. Is that where I want to start at? Yes, sir. All right, let's go. Oprah Winfrey campaigns with Stacey Abrams, which is a black lady in Georgia, while Oprah votes and wants you
who
to.
has an ancestor who didn't have the right to vote, and you are choosing not to vote wherever you are in this state, in this country, you are dishonoring your family. You are disrespecting and disregarding their legacy, their suffering and their dreams when you don't vote. So honor your legacy. Honor your legacy. Honor your right to citizenship in this, which is the greatest country in the world. The greatest country in the world. And the right to vote is like the crown we all get to wear. Maya used to say, baby, your crown has been paid for, so put it on your head and wear it. So your crown's been paid for. The right to vote is your crown. So this is a tight race here in Georgia.
All right, so that's it. So what word did she use? Sounds like what we read in Jeremiah 17:4. Well, does anybody know? Let's see. Who's it in the back? Way in the back. Mordecai. What's the word that we read?
She said your legacy.
Which in Jeremiah is what?
Your heritage.
Your heritage. See, this is what happens when you don't read the Bible. When you're fully entrenched in being Hellenized, assimilated, you throw out things like that. This is your legacy to vote. No, it's not at all. That's why we was going into earlier in the first class. All of y'all in here are wiser than Oprah, and she's got billions of dollars. The world sees her as somebody wise. They wanted to run for president in 2020. But y'all sitting in here, they ain't got two nickels to rub together. Y'all way wiser than her. Y'all know that's not your heritage. That ain't your legacy. Go to Isaiah chapter 30. Go ahead.
Okay. Also, I want you to understand, everybody that continue to make that statement, this is your legacy, or your foreparents fought for this, they're making your destruction, last even longer.
Oh, yeah.
They're keeping the train moving. Every time that statement is said, it's constantly disconnecting you from the people of the book.
Yep.
I hope you understand that.
And we understand why the Voting Rights Act of 1964 was passed. It wasn't so you Negroes can come in here and choose oppressor. It wasn't. It was for you to have the luxury to choose whatever oppressor you want to put over you. That wasn't it at all. It was so the prophets can do what they do today.
Right.
So you can be called by the voice of God through a YouTube video on the corners, and you ain't got to worry about getting lynched right after that. Brother Abel.
It's funny that she said that, this is the greatest country in the world, right? And that we have the right to vote. But she forgot that every couple of years, we still have to
redo the vote.
Yeah,
every 25 years.
Exactly. So how is this the greatest country in the world for us?
That's what April, what's her name? Oprah? Oprah dumb as hell.
For real.
She don't even know that. Every 25 years, they got to vote to give you the right to keep on voting for another 25 years. That's what she's talking about. You're citizens. No, you're not. If you was a citizen, it would be already written into the Constitution that you have free will to vote for whoever. Right. You are a denizen that got certain rights that they allow you to have.
And you know, it's the same smoke screen for Thanksgiving. They say it's about family today. But when voting started, it started in 1789. Where was the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? You were in slavery. Voting has nothing to do with you.
Right. Nothing at all. Go to Isaiah 30:8.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30 and verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever.
That book is the Bible. Go ahead.
That this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
That's who we are. We are rebellious children. We lie and we refuse to hear the law of the Lord. So instead of adhering to the law of the Lord, we choose a new oppressor every few years. And this is the thing about it. Even if you learned it from Obama, when he got into office, he couldn't get nothing passed. He had to fight tooth and nail just to get gay rights passed for them. The most Negroes got was a free cell phone and Obamacare. What's his name? Trump? DJ Trump? DJ Trump. He been in there for a year and some change and done damn near got the world on the brink of World War III right now. He done changed so much stuff.
His first 100 days, he was putting in work.
Putting in work.
Signing papers left and right.
Left and right. So we are rebellious people, refuse to hear the law of the Lord. Read on.
Verse 10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things. Speak unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits.
You know what that deceit? Your vote counts. Every vote counts. If you do not vote, you are disrespecting your ancestors. That's prophesying deceit. That's what the people want to hear. Go ahead.
Verse 11, get you out of the way. Turn aside out of the path. Cause the Holy One of Israel to cease from before us.
We don't want to hear nothing about no repentance. Go ahead.
Wherefore, thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word and trust in oppression and perverse.
We do what?
Trust in oppression and perverseness and stay thereon.
You rely on it. Trusting in the voting system is you trusting in oppression. Read on.
Therefore,
I'll give you this in the precept coming right after to show you trusting in oppression. Go ahead.
Therefore, this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall, swelling out in a high wall, whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
Go to Deuteronomy 28. Let me show you here. It's talking about you trust in oppression. And I'm going to show you this. We'll tie it into this vote. Deuteronomy 28. Read 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Uh-huh.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So we are under curses as a people because of our sin and disobedience to God's commandments. Therefore, jump over to verse 29.
Verse 29, and thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways.
No matter who you vote for, go ahead.
And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. And no man shall save thee.
And what?
And no man shall save thee.
Whether it be Andrew Gillum, whether it be Obama, whether it be Martin Luther King, whether it be Stacey Abrams, whether it be Marcus Garvey, who you name it. No man will be able to save you from the curses of God. No, it don't matter who you put in office. You will not be able to lift the curse of God up off of you. Go to Jeremiah 17 and 5. No man shall save you. These are scriptures. Remember, I'm going over this. So these are scriptures they can ask you. Because Esau don't do this, but our people do. Esau does not ask each other who you vote for. It's like a sworn secret society. They don't do that. Because who you vote for shows the where your allegiance lies. We know 98% of daggone Edomites voted for Donald Trump. You ask them, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you who I voted for. We know your ass voted for them.
David Chappelle made a joke on that.
Oh, yeah, he did on the stand-up.
He said Esau, he's having a conversation with Esau, and Esau he asked him, who'd you vote for? He said, I'd rather tell you what days I lay with my wife and tell you who I vote for, because it's so sacred.
That's how they be. You ask us, we straight up tell you, I voted for Obama. Straight up. Man, come on. You know I voted for Hillary, dog. You know I voted for Gillum. Why? He black. You know that's how we be. Jeremiah 17 and 5. We don't care.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 5.
So no man shall save thee, right? Read it.
Thus saith the Lord. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man.
That does what?
That trusteth in man.
So when you go out and vote, what you are doing is you're putting your trust in man to change your situation, not God. That's why you vote for a person. Our people do, not us in here, but that's why people vote for a person, because they look at his policies. He's going to bring jobs to the community. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man. Read on.
And maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord.
So when you do that, what is happening? Your mind has departed from God. You trust in man, not God. Because this is what, go to Wisdom Solomon. No, I want Wisdom Solomon. Go to Proverbs 3. Proverbs 3 and 5. I'm going to go to Wisdom Solomon out there. Proverbs 3 and 5. And yeah, let's read that. Proverbs 3, 5 through 8.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5.
That are trusted in God. Read that.
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart.
That's why God says you are cursed when you trust in man. That's why he said, don't trust, don't believe us. Do your own research. We give you counsel, but it's at the end of the day, it's for you to do what's right in your own life. We're going to tell you what thus saith the Lord is. Don't trust us so much that you follow us into a daggone ditch. Somebody tells you to sin, you go do it, and then you say, well, Captain said it. You crazy. Cursed be the man that trusteth in man. You know it was wrong. God says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Read on.
And lean not unto thine own understanding.
That's what voting is. Go ahead.
In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil.
See, that's what we don't want to do as a people. We don't want to depart from evil. We don't want to have to change. We want somebody else to change our situation for us. Go ahead.
It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones.
Now give me Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. Trust in the Lord, right? Cursed be the man that trusteth in man. Revelation 12, and let's read verse 9. Let's read that.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9.
I'm going to show you the man you trusting in. Go ahead.
And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Now, I'm going to come back and answer this. I know this might be a little hard for some of you new brothers. I'm coming back and answer this. Just stay with me. Remember, trust in the Lord. This is how you're going to get out of your situation. Read on.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accuseth them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Hold on. How did we overcome oppression?
By the blood of the Lamb.
That's how you're going to overcome in your oppression, is by the blood of the Lamb. Not no daggone voting. It ain't never worked for us. It never will, because you are not sent here to enjoy captivity. That's why some of y'all be like, man, life is hard. You damn right it is, because you sinned. Most High is going to make it hard on you, so you don't get comfortable here in Babylon and want to stay forever. Read that again, verse 11.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death.
I told you, this is how you're going to overcome. You don't love your own life. You give it up for God, for Christ, which many of us have. All praise to the Most High. Give me Wisdom of Solomon. Let me show you here that this is talking about who it's talking about, who the devil and who the Satan is, which deceive the whole world, right? Because a lot of times we've been taught Christianity that this was devil, Satan, the demon with the pitchfork, right? That's underneath the ground in fire waiting on you. Read that. Wisdom of Solomon 14. Let's start at 15 through 21. Remember, this devil, this Satan, deceived the whole world. Read that.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices.
Read on.
And thus, in the process of time, an ungodly custom grown strong.
Remember, it's an image of somebody's child. Go ahead.
Was kept as a law, and the graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings, whom men could not honor in presence, because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his visage from far.
They took the counterfeit of his image. Visage means image. From far. Go ahead.
and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent, as if he were present.
Read on.
Also, the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition. For he, peradventure willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion.
Read on.
And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, which a little before was but honored as a man.
Which was honored as a man. Read verse 21.
And this was an occasion to deceive the world.
It was what?
It was an occasion to deceive the world.
Can any brother tell me who is the person that made the image of God that looked like them and is found nowhere in the Bible? Let's see. Nowhere on earth in any language would you ever find a description that looked like that. Let's see. I think I got John first right here. Yeah. Stand up. Up here. He's going to stand up. Right there. Levi John. Who are those people?
Brother.
Shalom. Who are those people?
Caesar Borgia.
Caesar Borgia, right. Caesar Bo, right. What is the nationality of these people? Give it back to him.
They're Edomites.
Edomites. Make it plain for the people.
White people.
White people. Caucasians. Cave dwellers. Americans. Italians. Germans. French. Kazakhstans. Whatever you want. Turkey. Name whatever it might be. So when you read in Revelation 12, right? Let's go back to it. Revelation chapter 12, and let's read verse 10.
Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10.
Is that where I was? Let's see.
Verse
9.
Verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil.
What did God call him?
The devil.
Devil just means what, brothers? Now you know who the Bible's talking about in the book of Revelation. He made an image and deceived the whole world. And that person actually was Caesar Borgia. His father was Rodrigo Borgia, the Pope, the sixth Pope of Rome. Rodrigo Borgia, right? Son was Caesar Borgia. Read on.
And Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
His angels being his followers. Cast to the earth, meaning down to the ground. It's a whole bunch of other precepts I won't go over right now. So let's go back to Proverbs 3:31. Proverbs 3:31. Remember, we talking about the signs of the times. I ain't went off of that. I'm just going over this right now. Proverbs 3:31.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
When did you say, when was voting established here in 1789 is what you said, right? We was in hard bondage, still in slavery. It's just a different form. You was in hard bondage slavery in 1789. God told you way beforehand, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Like I said, the reason the Voters' Rights Act was passed, not so you can have the freedom to vote, to change the things around you. It was so that prophecy can be fulfilled of him gathering his sons and daughters in the last days. So choose none of his ways, because those are Greek fashions. So give me Isaiah 29. Those are Greek fashions. And you want to read the book of Maccabees. You'll show where the Roman Senate first started. You'll see it. You got time to go over it now. Just read Maccabees. Isaiah 29 and 9. Give me that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry.
Stay yourselves and think. Wonder. What's going on? Go ahead.
Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink.
Precept, what are they drunken with, brothers? Can somebody give me a precept? What are our people drunken with that keeps them from seeing the signs of the times. Mordecai in the back. Let's see what you got. What are they drunken with? Because remember, the Most High speaks in parables, similitudes, right? What they drunk with?
Micah 2 and 11.
Micah 2 and 11. Let's go to it, because he said they drunk, but they not drunk with wine.
Micah chapter 2, verse 11.
They stagger, but it's not with strong drink. Those are things that usually would make you stagger. Go ahead.
If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie, saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
Of what?
Of wine and of strong drink.
So God is comparing wine and strong drink to lies. Go back to Isaiah chapter 29 and 9.
Isaiah chapter 29, verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder. Cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink.
They are staggering off of lies. A lot of people love lies, right? That's why they trust in oppression. Here's some of them. Go to Daniel 2. Daniel chapter 2. Oh, no, I want to go there. No, let's read 10 first. Let's read verse 10. I like 10. Yeah. Read
Daniel
10.
chapter 2, verse 10.
Nope. Isaiah 29 and 10. Let's read that before we go.
The book of Isaiah chapter 29 and verse 10. For the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep.
So because we love lies and we are in the midst of all manner of sin, what does he does? He pours out upon us a spirit of deep sleep that prevents you. How many times have you tried to explain the Bible to somebody and they just don't understand it? You can pull all kind of historical facts of things going on in the world and you can match it with the scriptures and they're like, nah, I don't see it. That's old. No, that's your own interpretation. I got my own person. God will reveal it to me. I don't need nobody to teach me. The Holy Spirit will teach me. That's what happens. But God has poured out a spirit of deep sleep upon them. Read on.
And had closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers hath he covered.
Daniel chapter 2. Here's something that they can't see. Daniel 2. Here's something that they cannot see. I pray more than these brothers. I pray you sisters begin to see this thing. Y'all are the ones that want to hold on and save Esau more than anybody.
Verse
Lord
20.
knows why. Daniel chapter 2. Let's read 40.
Daniel chapter 2 and verse 40.
Remember, the first scripture says, you got to go over prophecy every once in a while. Read it.
And the fourth, Daniel chapter 2 and verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron.
Okay, so can a brother tell me what was the three kingdoms before the fourth one came? What are the three kingdoms? Oh, let's see. Philip. What are the three kingdoms that came before this fourth one? Let's see if you know them.
Babylon.
Babylon was one.
Media Persia.
Was two.
And Greece.
And who?
Greece. That's not the three.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. Okay. All right, so read on. Verse 40.
For as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Read on.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron. For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay.
All right, so hold your hand to Daniel 2. Now let's go to Daniel chapter 7, because it talked about the fourth kingdom. You was right with naming them. Let's see this. Daniel chapter 7, and let's read 7. Daniel 7 and 7. If you don't have his precept next to it, put it right there next to it. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast.
So in Daniel 2, it said it was a fourth kingdom. Daniel 7, it says it's a fourth beast. Can any brother tell me the three beasts that came before it? Matthias, let's see what you got. The three beasts that came before it.
Babylon, Persian Mede, and Greek Empire.
Okay, that's right. All right. So now we on the fourth beast, right? Finish 7 out.
And after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
It was diverse. Okay, wait. Let's go to it. Go to 2 Ezra, chapter 11. Let's see what this beast is. 2 Ezra 11. Right, in your apocrypha. 2 Ezra 11. Let's start at verse 38. Let's see what this beast is, fourth kingdom. Go ahead.
2 Ezra chapter 11 and verse 38.
We're going back to Daniel 2. We'll be precepting now. Go ahead.
Hear thou, I will talk with thee, and the highest shall say unto thee, art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them?
That the end of their times, the times of the Gentiles, might come through this fourth beast, this fourth kingdom. Go ahead.
And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
With much wicked oppression. We will get some videos. Go ahead.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
All right, so let's jump over to 12 and 9.
2 Ezra chapter 12 verse 9. For thou hast judged me worthy to shew me the last times. And he said unto me, this is the interpretation of the vision. The eagle.
The what?
The eagle.
What is the symbol of the country we live in, brothers? All right, read on.
The eagle, whom thou sawest come up from the sea, is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
But Daniel, he didn't call it an eagle. He called it a what, brothers? A beast. We'll go back to it. He called it a beast. Read on.
But it was not expounded unto him.
So this is what the Most High never gives all of the information to one man. Precept upon precept. Some he give to Jeremiah, some he give to Ezekiel, some he give to Isaiah, some he give to Daniel, some he gave to Ezra, some he gave to John, some he gave to Paul, some he gave to Peter. It says, it was not expounded unto him, therefore now I declare it unto thee. Read on.
Behold, the days will come that there shall rise up a kingdom upon earth, and it shall be feared above all the kingdoms that were before it.
What's the most feared country on the face of the planet, brothers? All right, let's go back. Let's go back to Daniel chapter 2. Daniel chapter 2.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 40.
Hold on. Let me get there with you. I want to 40. Daniel chapter 2. Yep, let's read Daniel chapter 2, and let's read 40, 41. 40 on down to 43. Go ahead.
Daniel chapter 2 and verse 40. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things. And as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise.
Oh, it's too many. I don't want to go there. We'll go to Revelations, but we'll keep it here. All right. So let you know, remember the scriptures are double to that which is known. So right after the Persian Medes came, what captivity, brothers? Greece, right? And after Greece came who? And then when Rome conquered Greece, it became known as what empire? Greco-Roman Empire. So when we read in verse 40 and in Daniel chapter 7, it's talking about Greco-Roman Empire, which eventually became, well, let me put it like this. What nation on the earth in modern times, in the last day, that rules over all the earth, models themselves after Greco-Roman culture? America. So we read in Daniel 2 and 40 on down, and Daniel 7, you're reading about Greece, Rome, and America all wrapped up into one because they all the same. And as we go down, it explains it. It's precepts in Revelation. I don't have time to go to. We'll leave that for another time. All right, verse 41.
And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, The kingdom shall be divided.
The kingdom shall be divided. What is the one way that this kingdom is divided? Can a brother tell me? If you was paying attention to the first 20 minutes of this class. Feiji, what do you got? Let's see. Let's see what you got. Let's see if you hit it on the head. How is it divided? How is it divided?
Democratic and Republican.
Democratic and Republican. Right. You're paying attention. This kingdom shall be divided. Read on. But there
shall be in it of the strength of the iron.
That's talking about its military. Although they divided, Democratic, Republican, one thing they got in common is that military. And whoever's in power can call on that military and they go. Go ahead.
For as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken.
Go ahead.
And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men.
What do they say about America? It's the great what? Melting pot. All seed of man is here, right? Read on.
But they shall not cleave one to another.
They ain't gonna do what?
They shall not cleave one to another.
That's why you Negroes live here. That's why you Hispanics live here. That's why it's a Chinatown right here. That's why it's a Jewish community here. This is why it's an East Indian community here. And that's why the Arabs live right here, because you will not cleave one to another. Although America pushes that one nation under God, the true fabric of America is everybody in this thing is divided. Everybody is separated. They will never come together like clay and iron will never mix. Let's see. Let's show you some. Give me that hate crime you didn't hear. Let's show you. So what you are reading about in Daniel 2:40 through 43, there will always be racism. It will never go away. You will always be hate. First off, because you're the Israelites, and God already prophesied you will never come together. Let's see that.
2 people are dead and another is in custody after a shooting at a Kroger grocery store outside of Louisville, Kentucky.
Just moments before the incident happened at Kroger, the suspect was seen at the First Baptist Church of Jeffersontown trying to get inside of that church, but he didn't get...
Pause it. What kind of people go to Baptist churches, brothers? First Baptist Church. It says, but they shall not cleave one to another. The first place he went, once again, was the Baptist church, full of black people, right? Play on.
Church of Jeffersontown trying to get inside of that church, but he didn't get in.
He's like, whites don't kill whites.
He said what?
Whites don't kill whites.
While Bieber was trending for eating a burrito and conservatives were flooding your feed with conspiracy theories about the numerous pipe bombs sent to prominent Democrats and ways to deflect from the MAGA truck, this news was buried. It's a story of unimaginable hatred and ugliness, yet it was deemed less newsworthy. The story of an armed white man who tried to gain access to a black church but failed, who then entered a supermarket and killed 2 black people. A man with a prior history of hatred towards black people shot these 2 innocent citizens only to then tell a bystander who approached him, "Don't shoot, whites don't kill whites." Police arrived and of course peacefully took the shooter into custody. This is news that gets buried. The victims were Maurice Stallard and Vicky Jones. Stallard was killed in front of his 12-year-old grandson. Vicky Jones just recently retired from the VA hospital. She spent her time helping veterans. And on that subject, let's take a closer look at this despicable human being who took her life's profile picture. I stand, huh? Stand for what exactly? Okay, so there is a lot to unpack here, but let me just start by saying that those who think the cure to solving racial issues is to avoid them, deflect from them, and pretend they don't exist.
Pause it. The reason why I wanted to play to that point is because some people, y'all come in here and be like, dang, be a lot of talking about white people and black people and Hispanic people. Why is it talking about it all the time? Because it says they shall not cleave one to another. And you not talking about it is not going to make it go away. That's what you do when you're in the world where you try to act like it You act like it don't exist, so it don't exist. Who was that talking to? That was Kanye's dumb self saying that, right? Racism is not real. Negro, please. It's not going to go away just because you don't talk about it. It's always good. Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson. It's always going to be here. And it's our job to remind you, because Thessalonians says that the wicked must be revealed. I got to show you who your enemy is because you've been clinging on to him so long. This dude right here, he might be telling the truth. He's still lying. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Damn pale ass devil. And that's the thing. This is how they try to get you to bring you in. He's talking about Israelite plight, our oppression, but he's bringing it out on behalf of us like he really cares for our people. No, that's a job for him. He gets paid off of that. High ratings, that's it. He got his own segment because he used to be on the Young Turks. He got his own segment talking about black people's problems. Play on.
Like this are rare, but they're not. They're in fact so common that one as tragic as this takes second string in the news cycle to breaking news like Michael Avenatti saying a white man needs to run for president. But wait, I'm in the wrong, right? By bringing these issues to your attention, I'm the one who's fueling this divide. Because if we just ignored acts of racist violence and pretend they're not going on, they'll go away, right? It took the mainstream media 3 days before bringing this incident to light. A man massacred 2 people in a grocery store, and still takes 3 days before major news outlets even run a story. And of course, even when the story began to receive coverage elsewhere, Fox News could be counted on to avoid it completely by focusing their attention on refugees 1,000 miles from the US border on foot.
Obviously, there's so much attention being played to the border right now.
Or on ways to pretend that the truck full with Trump stickers from the MAGA bomber had nothing really to do with Trump. This is a representation of the failures of our news cycle. This should be front page news on every single media outlet across America. The reason people are so oblivious to the hatred that's brewing in this country is because—
Hey, pause it.
It's not given the same.
Those things are flashing up so fast you really can't see it, but it says that the police are considering this as a hate crime. What the hell else is it? The dude went to a dag black church, tried to get in, but they had left Bible study 45 minutes. They won't call it a hate crime. 45 minutes they left earlier. If he had came 45 minutes earlier, he'd have shot up the place. But they left 45 minutes before. So that's why I said, well, Lord's will we get to it. But a Louisville shooter made racist remark right after killing 2 black people, but police won't call it a hate crime. Right after his statement, whites don't kill whites. That's why I killed them 2 niggas. He shot the black man in front of his 12-year-old son. He ran up behind him, grandson, and shot him in the back of the head. And then the woman that he killed, it was in the back or the parking lot or something, and he shot her in the back. Yeah, go ahead.
Officer Elisha just said something heavy. And some of us in here still wonder why we don't allow Esau in here with us.
Wonder why them doors is locked.
Wonder why you get checks coming in. Okay.
That's why. But, all right, go to the next article. I don't want to spend too much long on him. That's the hate crime you didn't hear about. All right. Give me the next one. Some of y'all might have heard of this. Megyn Kelly article. Give me the article. Give me the article real quick. Remember, this is the signs of the times. He blinded our people's eyes. Megyn Kelly apologizes to co-workers for blackface comments, right? How many of y'all heard of this by show of hands? Not enough of you. Good thing we're going over this. Megyn Kelly apologized to co-workers for blackface comments. Scroll down some. Scroll down. Scroll over so I can see it. Back out some. Okay, Megyn Kelly sparked social media backlash Monday in a discussion on, I can't see it. Back out some. Okay, on Megyn Kelly today about Halloween celebrants wearing black or white face makeup. Later in the day, she sent an email to NBC News co-workers apologizing for her on-air comments. Kelly wondered aloud during a conversation about universities putting pressure on students not to wear costumes that might be deemed offensive. What is racist? She asked a panel that included Gina Bush Hager, Jacob, blah, blah, blah. You do get in trouble if you are a white person who puts on black face for Halloween or a black person who puts on white face for Halloween. Black people don't dress up like white people are. We don't do that. She tried to throw that in there to soften it up. People have seen right through that. Back when I was a kid, that was okay, just as long as you were dressing as a character. I don't remember that being okay. I don't. Go to the video. So that's what she said on the thing, right? She don't see nothing wrong with it. Let's play it.
As you may have heard, NBC Today host Megyn Kelly's show was canceled this past week following her on-air remarks expressing acceptance of blackface. It's a racist show business practice most of us thought was long gone. But as Maurice Dubois is about to tell us, blackface has a long history.
So here's some history for y'all.
And we caution you, his report unavoidably includes many offensive and disturbing images.
It happens all too frequently, often at Halloween, but not exclusively.
They thought it was a joke, but it really just was not funny at all.
For example, 2 years ago in Maplewood, New Jersey.
Her daughter posted this photo of herself and a friend in blackface.
The two girls had no idea what blackface was or the history of it.
The history of blackface is long and complex and deeply ingrained in our culture.
Who was that lady I saw you with this afternoon? That was no lady. That was my wife.
Even Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd blacked up.
Fantastic, isn't it?
For more than 100 years, white and then black performers wore dark makeup and created not only a popular theatrical form, but stereotypes that are still with us today.
This makes you uncomfortable, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It does make me feel uncomfortable to talk about these things because they are incredibly disturbing and revolting.
Eric Lott, a professor at the Graduate Center of the City University of New York, says blackface represents a strange mix of envy, fascination, desire, and fear.
Explain the fear part to me. What are these white performers, what are these white people afraid of?
They're afraid of black groups, mobs, rising up and taking the power.
Minstrel shows began in the 1830s, and white performers used burnt cork or later black grease paint. Minstrelsy eventually became the most popular form of entertainment in the country.
Ah, yes.
I asked Margot Jefferson, the Pulitzer Prize-winning critic, to look at some images from the New York Public Library.
The shininess of the black against the big white clown's mouth, the hat, the overlong tailcoat, mocking. It always gives me the jolt that racist history does. Blackface is so tied to comedy, to people enjoying themselves, to people having fun, that rattles you still more.
Well, Mr. Tambo, you seem to be enjoying yourself this evening.
Enjoying myself? I sure is.
White minstrel performers claimed that what they did on stage was based on their perceptions of how black people lived.
Some of this came out of a genuine fascination with the music, the songs, the dances, the performance styles of black people.
But it's also where Jump Jim Crow was born, along with other characters depicted as lazy, lying, or buffoonish. Remember, this was all happening before the Civil War.
Slavery was all about creating visions, types, stereotypes of an entire race of people as subhuman in every way.
By the 1860s, African Americans began using blackface on stage.
Why on earth would a black performer put on blackface and demean him or herself?
Look, this is the 19th century. They had limited options. They were expected to.
Why?
Because it made the audiences comfortable. You can be fascinated, you can be excited, but you can always feel superior.
In effect, the black makeup on a black performer became a theatrical mask with many layers of meaning. Professor Eric Lotz.
The mask, I think, says to white audiences, you have nothing to fear. Go ahead, enjoy yourself. To black audiences, I think any number of things might have been communicated, like, can you believe that these people are making me put on this mask so they will be entertained? In other words, it was a kind of winking to the black audience. But it gave black performers access to the stage.
One of the biggest black stars to come out of the minstrel tradition was Burt Williams, who wore blackface from vaudeville to Broadway.
It's clear that he was a genius of a performer.
But how did he reconcile performing in this demeaning art form?
He was very melancholy about it. He knew it was necessary for his career, as all other black performers knew it.
Minstrelsy on stage basically died out in the 1920s, but blackface lived on in the movies.
I'd walk a million miles for one of your smiles.
In 1927, Al Jolson starred in the pioneering talking picture The Jazz Singer, playing a young man who prefers singing popular music rather than his family's traditional Hebrew prayers. Rather than his family's traditional Hebrew prayers. Rather than his family's traditional Hebrew prayers. Rather than his family's traditional Hebrew prayers.
All right, we'll cut it there. Go to Luke 12:51. So that's a little history of the blackface. I know y'all scroll on your Facebook timelines, and it'll pop up of all the nurses and the firefighters and the daggone construction workers, whoever it might be, painted as whatever Negro they want to be. Read that, Luke 12:51.
The book of Luke, chapter 12, and verse 51. Suppose ye that I come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division.
Read that part again. I want that to sink to people's membranes.
Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division.
That is what Jesus Christ came to do. Sow division. The wicked from the righteous. The Israelites from all other nations. Right? Go to Luke 21:25.
Luke chapter 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations.
Remember, it said the first scripture we start out with was talking about the signs of the times. How can you not discern the signs of the times? Read that again, 25.
And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations.
Read on.
With perplexity, and the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth.
Here's when he talks about there shall be signs and distress of nations. Jump over to verse 10 and 11. This is what he's talking about.
Verse 10. Then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation.
That's talking about the distress of nations.
And kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven.
That's the sea and the waves roaring, all right? Let's see. Go to the video of Battle Ready, Beijing. Oh, it's stuff our people's eyes cannot discern the faces of the times, the signs of the times. Right? This is happening just this week. Play that.
So here's the thing. The Chinese government almost never says anything you wouldn't expect. That's their thing, their gimmick. They're incredibly careful. reserved, at least with their tongues. So when the Chinese president orders his military to prepare for war, serious indeed.
He urged the military to concentrate on advancing readiness for war.
The Chinese are preparing for war out loud. How, oh how, did we get to this? Well, Trump, for one. Aside from lambasting the Chinese at every opportunity, his tariffs, his sanctions, his trade war, he's also being very heavy-handed. Congress has just approved a second arms deal with Taiwan in 18 months.
The sales of weapons by the United States to Taiwan damages China's sovereignty and security interests.
Beijing sees China and Taiwan as two parts of a whole. Two Chinese entities, same culture, ethnicity, same languages, with two separate governments, communist, capitalist. The end goal is to reunite into one state. There are differences, of course, currently preventing that, and about 100 kilometers of sea that separate the two. And Trump, always a fan of sticking it to the Chinese, he's been floating his warships right between the two Chinas.
We have expressed our concerns to the US side. The Taiwan issue concerns China's sovereignty and territorial integrity and is the most important and sensitive issue in China-US relations.
For starters, how about you express your concerns about these important and sensitive issues to someone who cares a little more? Because that ain't Trump.
Are you worried about any negative reactions? I'm not worried about anything. I don't worry about things.
Hakuna Matata. Must be great never worrying about anything. Unfortunately, others are. There are those in China who believe that America wants Taiwan to declare independence, and the Chinese are preparing for that eventuality, militarily.
Why y'all think Trump will go on TV and say he's not worried? Because clearly they're worried. Clearly. They're gearing up for war. What would be a reason why Trump will go on national television and let the people of America know he's not worried? Natazar. What is he trying to do?
Well, for one, he don't want to panic the people, number one. And number two, they have the biggest military in the world.
Right, but remember, bring it to what Cap is going over.
I don't know.
Officer Samuel. No. One more, because we got to go. Soldier Malek.
With everything that's going on, like with the wars, the rumors of wars, they don't want the people to connect the dots with the scriptures saying that the end is almost here.
All right, but he want us to stay asleep. He want the American people to stay asleep. Because if we started doing, because really only, and we went over this earlier about the wisdom and understanding, only we have the wisdom and understanding to connect the dots and say, hey, something's about to happen. But Donald Trump will go on television and say, I'm not worried, no. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Show of hands. How many of y'all in here knew that China was preparing for war? All right. Not enough of you. I'll tell you that much. Preparing for war right now.
We I'm a Jew, it sound odd. For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sound wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcasts, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.